through their long, arduous journey into the OWCS promotion bracket, where they beat out Frosttails and Vision to take the top spot in that, and now are playing against, well, we were interested to see how they would perform in the best bracket. We have a very literal data point playing against VP, the #1 seed, the best performing EMEA team at Hangzhou Major. So, Jace, I'm glad to have another best of the best situation with me, with you casting this upcoming match. So, what are your thoughts coming up?
This is like straight into the fire, right? For Quick, you're going up against the best team in the region, bar none. Every time I see this Jabu kid, he looks absolutely cracked. So it's going to be difficult. Quick have gotten rid of the Orisa, something that historically we know Skyport has struggled with. VP gotten rid of the Torbjorn. I think Torb such a high value character both in ceiling and in floor. So honestly, both of the bans make sense. My prediction for this series probably going to be like 3-1 or even 3-0 to VP. But it's more about the intent, how they're playing, how they're rotating ultimates, how they're playing neutrals, etc. for Quick. I think in this game, it's just about like grounding your footing and almost learning, very quickly where and when you fall down. I don't want to be too negative, of course, not, but like this is right? This is the best team in the region, bar none. So
I think we'd all kind of be on the same, agreement that a 3-1 would be a major success. This is, Virtus.Pro, especially losing that Torbjorn. That was really where we saw a lot of the success. Again, Dip as well on the Genji on the Trace, their best performances. But they brought a unique hazard, I think, cast Torbjorn into the fray that a lot of the master teams really struggle with. Of course, we expect VP to have kind of the same falter in their steps. Unlikely, but still, as kind of a big piece off the table we're looking forward to see. Regardless, though, we're going to have to see Quick really punch up to a level that is, other teams like, Alcad beating VP arguably is a punch up. And, if Quick beat Alcad, it's just different levels of punching up, how many different stages to this. So, like you said, about setting the tempo, about setting your footing down, showing you can compete, you can make competitive as we head to our first map, OWCS. Can have the chance to do just that.
All right, let's get into it. We've got Luau on prod today. So, hit them buttons. There we go.
Hit them buttons.
Hit them buttons, yeah. Of course. Freya enabled and very, very played. A character I have not seen too much of. Admittedly, looked very strong yesterday in certain aspects. Just playing against good Freyas, it's just like, okay, when am I supposed to peek this character? Because they'll just right click or take my head off, or left click me and chunk me, and then if I peek again, they right click and take my head off. So
you are unraveling the experience of OWCS so far. It has been all Freya pretty much all day. I'm interested to see where does that actually fit in for Quick, because as we saw the Cassidy, Zidra in was exclusively for that. They didn't really have the confidence in Snowdrop like they did. Or Asuna, I think they're going by now. But if we see that Sojourn come in, I'm expecting to see Asuna come in and we'll play the cast. But Freya, it's like, who does play that between the two? There's no real evidence for us to decide what that is, but it is a crucial part of the current meta. Like you said, I think support really struggle in this meta because there's just so much damage on the tank. Freya can just kind of bully and pummel your front line over and over again. They can also threaten you with a 2-shot. The ult builds up ridiculously fast. Freya is here to stay at the moment, and I do wonder how Quick can adapt to that.
I feel like in any meta like this, where you've just got angles and everything, you kind of default to maybe Juno Brig or Lucio Kiri seems to be like obviously the standard. But I can imagine it is very difficult, particularly for sometimes. I think it was yesterday, the Gen G versus, I forget which game it was, but I was just looking at the Winston being played, like who you're supposed to go on. Like everyone is just sitting on it. So to play. But speaking of, we've got Hasbiva, so Willis, they're looking to do so much smothering. And particularly on the DP, I think Shockwave and Jabu need to be very much kept at bay, and I think that's Willis' job in this neutral fight.
I's not being played interesting as well. He was kind of a big question mark, like why are you subbing in a tank that has pretty similar hero pool to best? But maybe the hazard is one area where he kind of patches up a hole that VP thought they had. Jawu Shockwave though, I'm surprised I don't see Dip, mirroring the Genji here beyond mirroring Jawu, so is that even a fair fight? Is that legal to call that a mirror? I'm not sure. It's a lot more of a, sustained mobility here for the side of Quick. Willis as well, not taking the hazard mirror. These are picks that I think, like, you'd expect, what VP are running is what Quick were known for in the Master Division, but here Willis on the Diva, Yoham as well on the Kiriko. Well, it's a very fast Kitsune rush here. But VP just has a lockdown on the point so far. I mean, what's going to break it loose?
I mean, you've got to lock down on the point, right? So at this point, Virtus are just able to kind of chill, not really do anything quick. It's the ones that got to be advantageous, they've got to be aggressive, they've got to look for something like the Kitsune rush from Johan to open it up. When I get a bit more time, I'll go into the backstory of Ice as well. But for now, very cool to see Ice on this roster with VP as well. Just like
but
in general.
Okay, then you get a trade onto Shockwave at least, and Gala is very low. Quick is not sure to get something, but when they get the point, they have to invest 2 other ultimates into this fight to get it going. VP only invested the 1 boulder shot, so I mean, you do get the point. Finally break it loose, 56%, but expensive for Quick to say the least.
Yeah, I guess it is expensive, but when you look in hindsight, like it's Bowler and Pulse, which are like the freest ultimates in the game. Like you just kind of rip those on cooldown, don't you? Very, very low ultimate charge points. Very high impact, of course, when you can hit those direct and you can land them. But yeah, not something that is, I think, too bad going forward. Losing the Kiwi rush is, of course, a big one. Virtus.Pro, they're so aggressive, man. Like, Fixer is just in.
And they found the opening as well. Natsuki just still behind the beat. Willis Poco Bomb was Fixer there. Eyes on J were able to reopen up the numbers in their favor somehow, and that orbital array from Gala, there's no real match. Natsuki taken off the ball before he can unleash the beat. And now 70% ticking up. This could be, a final fight territory already. And VP still have 2 ultimates, likely 3, like you said, how fast that bow shot builds up. Quick, though, do have double support ults, so it's just going to be on them. VP, I think, expect to see them going aggressive. Maybe J plays for the Ajax.
Yeah, this blade is going to get so much value against the back line of Quick, though. Particularly if Ice can land like anything with the downpour, anything with this hazard ultimate, and Quick are going to get completely dragged down, and I think it could just be the round. It was already found Shockwave.
Yeah, there's the rush, but even to get the point of this, VP are just able to dance around it. There's the cleanse out in time and beat in response. Both support ults have now be overlapped. Jay will just able to back up, and Zidra's so low. He's coming up on the bowler shot. The Shockwave gets his out first and catches the kill. Jay will getting traded though is important here. No ults on the board. It's only Willis right now trying to manpower his way through this, and they will just barely win that fight through.
Yeah, it was really nice from Quick to sort of smother the value the Virtus.Pro had going for a combo of themselves, and they just overlap it with both Kiwi Rush and Sand Barrier. So healthy. And at that point, you can peach for Freya because she's not going to take your head off of Suzu and all the mobility and the 900 plus HP that you can get when Sand Barrier is applied, right?
Oh, Shockwave is in so aggressively, and the bowler shot position makes it so there's no easy one to follow up and get out. And Willis is on a tear right now, finding the value in the backline as well. And Ice surely soon to fall here. VP have kind of slipped off their game for a minute, and they're building up double support for the next fight, but pretty straightforward win for Quick by looks, but only losing Zidra at the end.
Yeah, very straightforward. Really nice job at holding space from Willis on that Diva. Shockwave tries to establish the off angle, right? And they just completely smother him. Very, very well done. Virtus.Pro, dare I say, struggling a little bit here in this opening game. Maybe just lacking a little bit of reps with the new character. Shockwave looking confident on it, I would say, but the rest of the team feels like you're chunking people to low HP, and Quick are just allowed to live at those critical hit points after being shot by the Freya.
Yeah, Johan almost able to get away with a fadeaway wall is good. Nice. Bomb choosing it on the kill, but Dip does. And Willis gets another kill with I think it was a boot there coming from Natsuki onto Eyes. Overthrow from Gala is good, but is it going to be enough? Quick on the precipice of taking the first point. What a tone setter that would be. Willis now trying to find something. He has number advantage, and Fixer is so low. Zidra will take that down to 0. Overtime trigger, only ult coming back. He's going to be that bowler shot, and maybe his Hazard if he can get it online, but hit the numbers, they're all in Quick's favor. It's a dominating effort right now, and the Hazard ult is only cosmetic at the end. A victory dance almost for Quick there. And they take point number 1.
I mean, Willis is just so tanky on this Diva, right? Both perks. Actually, no, at least I think the minor perk online as we saw the shields going through there. Might have been the major one online as well, actually.
I think it's the
really long.
Yeah, I think it is the major.
Just the shields is the major one, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I was right the first time because I was thinking, it's one round of control. Do they have major perks? But no, clearly they do. Ice going for the swap here, of course, as you can see, 6 and 5. Wow. Very, very burnt down. I mean, from this perspective, like, as someone that's played Diva for a long time, in Overwatch 2, she just feels like, often people have described Diva as like a fat DPS. In this in this comp, in this sort of environment, it does feel like D.Va's just so good in the 1v1s, in the brawls, in the mini dives, in these soft
Yeah.
hits. I'm pressing tab, and I'm like, look what Willis has to play into. Like, is this not just such a free game for the D.Va? And like, of course, it's excellent. They got so much value, and they deserve so much credit for that. But I think this is such a good spot for D.Va to be able to get value from. Okay, goodbye, shot.
Yeah. Health bars are pretty low though, and especially with Johan taking off, they're gonna stay low. Even though Quick end up taking that first point, it's looking like a stronger start again here. VP eyes coming on the Winston. This is what is kind of expected to be learning to play. You know, their solo's hero pool does, you know, infamously not include the Winston here, so good to see them trying to get in, like I said, those reps at the start. But Quick, I mean, now they're dealing with a much more of a mirror. The only difference being the D.Va and the Winston. Interesting matchup here. What are your thoughts on how the Winston works into this comp versus the D.Va?
I think, again, it's very difficult because of the map control and the mobility of both Quick DPS. Lucio Kiri is the same. Like, you can kind of jump as the Winston, of course, right? You just need to play way more scaled, way more for map control. But Ice has played Winston versus D.Va like a million times, right? Regardless of everything going on around him. So it's probably way more comfortable compared to playing the Hazard into a comp, which honestly, I feel like the Hazard leap range might actually be not that good into Quick's comp. Might have been a big difference at the first round. Felt like Ice was only really getting fadeaways with his wall, was never really able to stick on a target. And with Winston, of course, like he can absolutely glue to someone. Gorilla glue, if you will.
Yeah. But he is kind of struggling to get himself up. But look at the ult advantage for Galar here. 30% up from Yoham, and that should be the fight win, in theory, unless it just ults get something. Double support even. That's the kind of support differential you expect to see coming from VP. Both of them miles ahead in terms of support ult charge. That's a stagger onto Willis as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a brutal stagger too. You can get maybe an extra 4 or 5% out of it. Going to have to go into the cars. Yeah, down a level in Frogger, as we say. Absolutely run over quick reset. And speaking of the quick reset here now, they've got Kiri Rush to come in, so huge ultimate for them. But I think Virtus.Pro have such good potential just to stuff these chokes. And this is the difficult part about this map, right? You're walking through a choke with Kitsune Rush, which of course the ult is really, really good. It's busted one of the best ones in the game, right? But, I mean, like, Ice is just in your backline already.
And the support's off the point as well. Natsuki losing out in the race for ult charge versus the point percentage. And yes, Cedric does get a kill. Willis still has the bomb in his back pocket, but it's going to have to be an insane level of proportion here to get any kind of value. Maybe they can pounce on Shockwave here, and might be able to get a point flip, but no. Eyes is back still in the fight with the Primal as well. Doesn't even need it, and this is a lot more like you'd expect to see from the VP. Looking like a 100-0 here, unless Eyes throws up the bomb, almost, but they just get the flip in the meantime. Maybe they come back, maybe they can play for Natsuki, but the remake just barely out in time. Be only effective onto 3 squishies, and I don't think this is going to be winnable. Someone has to go big here, and both the playmakers for Quick are still coming back into the fray.
Yeah, now with Willis being dead as well, you lose your anchor on point, so it has to be Dip. That just keeps it contested from going over. They do find onto Shockwave. I guess with point control, you can try and take an extended fight, but you know, Jaybu proving that they can play both Tracer and Genji. That's the free flip, and I think that should just be all it. Going into Gardens, which I think again is completely fine for this VP compositions. If you're Quick, you don't lose out on potential like perk advantage, just they don't really need to swap heroes going into the Hanging Gardens fight like this. This 5 is pretty perfect for them.
I mean, Quick are just dragging this one on. Fixer lapping Natsuki in beat charge there at the end is kind of criminal, but a way better composition, I think, across the board. The Juno, you know, just kind of struggled. I think a lot more into the fray at the moment. There's no cleanse, there's no TP to kind of keep yourself more alive. You want to keep more brawly, but you kind of can't into that sense. The Hazard as well, until you get that major leap perk, you really will struggle. And especially that Jaywu Shockwave both came alive. Like, just looking at stats alone, I'm not sure there was like any kills for Dip and Natsuki or even Yoham across the board there for that fight. So
with a very low kill round for Quick there, basically just a couple of neutral fights. It all started once they lose the neutral, right? That's sometimes how control can be, and historically it's always how it has been. You lose the first fight, so you get snowballed into the early ultimates that come online for your enemy team, and then they use that fight to build up their more expensive, higher value ultimates. And then from there you blink and they've got like 80% on the board before you finally got any resources to be able to counteract. The big punish was Yoham's Kiri Rush. That ult was not good from Yoham, and and they got absolutely sort of screwed over by that. They just have nothing to walk in with. Like,
I mean, the damage on Willis is just immense, just absolutely non-stop. Tide, Torrent. I mean, like the Winston is able to also impact that as well. Willis couldn't really do anything apart from just kind of stand there and take it, to be honest with you. Just a big old punching bag for VP, and well, punching bags living up to that metaphor, just not really throwing any haymakers back there. Quick just found absolutely nothing. What is Fixer doing on my screen? What is that wall ride?
Is that Fixer's crosshair, or is that one of the observers' crosshair?
I think that's Fixer's. I think that you are using the original crosshairs of the players. I think it's the setting they have now on there.
Yeah, I always wonder if it's like an OBS. Someone's got like a heart-shaped OBS on Lucio.
Yes. I believe that is Fixer's.
Yeah, because Natsuki's is different as well, right? Okay, quick. Yeah. Again, it's going to be a hard dive to break. Like the D.Va, it's so good at holding space, but I think taking it, as you said, there's so many options that Willis has there. I think it's really difficult to not just get overskimmed, unironically. There is so many choices. It's like a multi-part quiz. And we all know that Overwatch players hate reading and we hate tests. So
yeah, and right now, big test is can you live? And everyone's failing, but also on the side of VP, they're out too. Zidra going crazy on that. The beat from Fixer only catches onto 2 as well, but Natsuki, again, just still lagging behind, and now Eyes is able to, you know, chunk into Arnold's health bars, uncontested by a beat. Also the Primal, Willis still lacking behind the bomb. It's going to have to be backing out here. There's no way they can turn that into a proper fight.
And even throughout that crazy play by Zidra, VP still keep hold of the point. Maybe not for long though. Johan might have something to say about it. No tank again, you lose your anchor on point, so J-Ru should just get back off here. You can probably just give flip unless you're so good you can stall until Ice gets back with the Primal. No, I mean, Ice had Primal, but I think he was expecting more care than he was given. Now, double support advantage for Quick and Dip just absolutely plummets J-Wu. The stocks are falling through the roof if Dip just absolutely annihilates him. And I mean, I was going to say I have to play it smart with... Did they double support? Potentially.
My brain is at a full 360. Actual emotional roller coaster. Now Eyes' Primal is going to be completely contested. And you're already down 2.
I think that has just ran up on Zidra and said, hello, listen to this. Goodbye. Oh. We've won this as well. The Willis can stalls, but like they are 1v2, so no reason to. We just saw that. I want to go back to the. We're not going to get it on click, but right before like the previous fight, Zidra's bowler kill there was disgusting. You see him in the air, feathered it, hit a couple of left clicks, right clicked, feathered, got the reset with his cooldown, and then went into the bowler, and that is like 350 damage, something like that. Absolutely one shot. It was only a support, so basically like hard overkill. But man, I'm seeing the real pop-off potential with Freya now in the hands of these good players. Like you've got to keep an eye on this character permanently. What is my Fixer doing? Actually, what is their Fixer doing? What is your Fixer doing, VP? What is Bro up to?
I mean, Eyes is, you know, trying to get the fists out, trying to all the way back. Fixer's back with the beat again, just laughing an ult charge, and Shockwave's found Natsuki in the midst of it all. Johan as well next on the chopping block for Fixer, and I mean, it all really just comes down to that one fight, I think, where Dip just mechanic gaps J-Wu, which is a crazy sentence in of itself. But then Quick double support ult, do not get a single follow-up kill. They just absolutely blow through their entire economic situation, and I think that just really is showing the gap between these two teams in level of macro and level of tempo. Because as we see, Quick could have their own pop-off moments, but every fight is a pop-off moment from the side of VP, it seems.
Point one, a little bit of a fever dream. I think it was really hard for Ice to get impact on the hazard. They needed to warm up a little bit, but once they were on the Winston, it was just so much more comfortable, wasn't it? So,
and
VP
I mean, especially
really,
when you get that, you get that healing bubble as well. We saw it being super popular in the Hangzhou Major. You just see how aggressive J-Wu and Shockwave are able to play using that bubble with that extra sustain, go super aggressive. Well, like, what can the D.Va really do? Like, apart from, you know, having more outplay potential, you can deny a lot of the ults from the side of both DPS, but like, in terms of actual neutral fights, the DM is just worse than the bubble, especially later on when that scaling really starts kicking in for the Winston. So
yeah, absolutely. I think your ability to hold space with the Winston is so good, right? Like, I almost call it like the D.Va paradox, because the more characters you have that are bad into D.Va, the worse D.Va actually gets, because she wants to DM like all five, you know, both angles at the same time. What happens is D.Va just ends up getting her attention split too thin. She can't really commit to locking down. One of the classic D.Va moves, right, is you sort of boost off on the off angle. You try and clear someone out on the high ground, and if your team aren't living, if they're not with you to do it, then you just get like shot in the back, shot in the side, and D.Va's hitbox massive. Once that armor goes as well, she's got a lot of it, but yeah, once the armor goes, once the defense matrix goes, you're basically just a sitting duck. The headshots are so easy that yeah, you just get absolutely burst down. We saw the minute that Willis overstepped on the D.Va, they are just completely demexed for free. Like Winston way more survivable.
Yeah, and comparing the ults as well, like it's not exactly breaking news that Primal is better than Bomb, although to be fair, like Quick One making it well. We saw I think like 3 bomb kills in Big 2025 coming out with help of some boots from Natsuki, but still.
How on earth?
Yeah,
that's what they need. Just bomb kill every fight. Winnable.
True. Yeah, if you make your ultimate get kills, generally that is a way to win, but a lot easier said than done with Primal than with Bomb. And yeah, like I think that glimpse of hope that we talked about in point 1 just kind of comes down to a compositional difference. Like the Juno, the Hazard not really doing all that well. And I think the Hazard is not really a look we expect to see come out more. Like I think especially now you've proven that it doesn't really work into what Quick want to run here. Especially when you have Vestola frothing on the sidelines, you know, have a piece and tear into the fresh meat on the OWCS circuit. It's a rough look, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you think, of course, Vestola will come in on some of the more brawl-ish centric maps, but yeah, EU playing the dive, although yes and no, because I'm always hesitant. It doesn't really feel like a more sort of a traditional dive comp.
Yeah.
But of course, like, concepts have evolved, right, from Overwatch 1, Overwatch 2, you know, like Overwatch 1 was like 3 years ago at this point, so dive almost feels like the short form name for it, but it's just really heavy for map control, as we've seen on stream. Vestola being subbed back in for Ice. So he got his one. Very good experience for Ice there. This is someone that is, I think, newer in the minds of pretty much 95% of people. But this guy's been playing Overwatch, like, in terms of at a level above 4.5 for, like, since before I started casting, so that would have been 2019, before I met my wife, actually, which is crazy. Wife mentioned, but anyway.
Just gotta drop that into the Overwatch player's mind, you know. But yeah, I mean,
but no, Ice has been playing for ages, basically the point is. Really, really good player. And has played off tank, is now playing 5v5, so it's super cool to see him on a team with the likes of Shockwave, J-Roof, and etc. because it just shows that the grind is still very much up to snuff, and it's absolutely something that you can still go through the whole ladder. You know, you can climb the ladder, quite literally. You can be Crusher 99 if you're good enough.
I mean, yeah, we did see, you know, there was a recognition from VP after seeing Ice's performance on Peps. We saw that happen with Zodiel as well, although that's a questionable success on Gen G. That roster is very confusing for me, but what's less confusing is VP bringing them. Was it V? No, it's Quick bringing themselves to Circuit Royale into Vestola. I think is quite the statement. And VP are going to ban D.Va in response to the May pick. So interesting to say the least. I think. I mean, this is a fairly old school look from VP coming out, right? I mean, maybe it's weird to say old school to you because like whenever I see Circuit on this map, Sigma is kind of dead. Sigma is, you know, a lot by the wayside. Double flex backline. Ilari is some real relics. Say, you know, we talked about Overwatch 1, but it's a bit of a throwback from VP. Still,
the main man is interesting because I feel like you almost want to play it if you're quick as well, right? Because of the positive matchup that it has, allowing you to take space and allowing you particularly to bully the Sigma. Ice Wall is obviously really good on their backline too, but I guess they just find that, okay, we're just going to bully the tank anyway, so let's take away the May and let's stop them from being able to double anchor with Vestola and the May. Let's just have a solo anchor, sort of the head of the spear with Vestola, and let's blow him up that way. This is a very, very, you know, see you later Vestola kind of comp, and I think VP recognize that as well. Like, it's a very greedy bad fight. Like, Babs and Ilari, these characters are played nowhere else. All they are going to do is, well, they're playing Valorant, aren't they? They're just going to sort of sit on angles and hold left click.
I mean, yeah, exactly what you said. And it's very much like, it's a little microcosm, we could say, the entire rest of the match, like the new versus the old. This is what, like, quick up. Okay, dip. All right. That was an attempt, let's say. I mean, You gotta try something into VP, but that was you could kind of feel the desperation that kind of played to step up. I mean, Dip, I think, has been a playmaker on this team. Johan as well is really consistent, but you have to still do this thing. You have to, like, not kind of get pushed into these unforced errors. And you have a clear game plan. Like you said, it's bye-bye Vestola. It's get Natsuki, it's get Willis on top of Vestola. There's no speed ring or any kind of speed to kind of escort Vestola away to safety that reliably. So you have to rely on pure spam, their own kind of early rotations here, and Quick have brought themselves to the corner at least.
Yeah, I mean, Jwoo is so free on this Farah as well, right? That is a slow, and that is a kill on Tagala. So -1 Alari, I guess. It's traded, but for now, I think Quick, I think they really need the DPS, the damage of Vidra here to be able to properly clear out. But they might be able to push them back anyway. Vestola has been quite chucked. But saying that, like, Shockwave is okay, down cooldown, but they have the bowler. So I'm a bit nervous for the bot line of Quick here as they try and walk up.
Yeah, and VP have 5 ults. There's 3 of them let rip at once in response to the one ult from Johan. Vessel has found his way into the entire backline using the Great Flux of Ability cooldown at that point. And yeah, I mean, a favorable ult trade at least, right? What, 1 for 2?
4.
I believe there was a bowler thrown.
4.
Sorry,
4 for VP.
4 for 2. But you still have to watch that barrage. Willis is definitely going to be his name on all individual of those missiles. He has to make sure that angle's cleared first. The blade as well will be difficult in his back when you have to clear through a lot of resources. But, you know, Genji historically pretty good into Bath, and the blade definitely a crucial part of that kit. And Ramo just around the corner too.
Yeah, we've probably not built it up yet though, and we're 90 seconds left. So this has been quite a slow blade hold for a bit. Just showcasing the dominance of which VP have been able to take these fights. Oh my god, Vidra might just kill them it. Oh wait, Dip is
There was a barrage in the back. Okay, well, sure, that's, you know, how you do it.
Took a while, but we got there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is kind of a, you know, I said the stronger there, like Jwoo, a lot of changes actually will be coming out. Makes a lot of sense, right? Orisa into Ram, Genji Miro now, finding maybe too much pressure just onto that far, or maybe on that the second point, just not as good angles to work around. But it does mean a reset in perks and reset in ult charge, so Quick. It's going to be their time to kind of maybe get this snowball going.
Yeah, VP fully capitalizing on the flexibility in terms of jobs, I call it, of the Orisa and the Genji here. Because they're characters that do want to brawl, they do want to go in, they want to look to go on these low HP targets, either to take space or to obviously execute them with that Genji dash. But they're also totally chill to play poke here, like the Orisa has range. Genji can sort of just left, right click on the angle as well. The VP, they changed 2 characters to make themselves more durable, but they still don't really go down in what their primary comp wants to do. So actually really smart swaps from VP, and I think it puts Quick in a little bit of a hole here. This ram ult from Willis has to be, I think, massive, but I guess Ray is potentially something you go with first as well.
Oh, so stacked.
Now that that's online. Oh no.
I mean, they do get a split going. The ram ult should zone out guard from getting any finish some blows on that. Lantern's good to keep the rest of the team alive. Window mess from Fixer as well. I think this is winnable. Nice to zone off Willis. He's kind of just stuck in the corner getting bunch of stolen, but Sidra finds him still. And Gala falls as well. Johan gets 2 there. And like you said, Willis, just a bastion, able to live eternal life in that corner. And this is like a second point catching up from Quick. This is a historically super strong map for VP. And they're still making changes here. Now Ana in and Fixer over to Juno as well.
Trying to brawl a bit more, I guess. Really well played from Willis. I feel like 99% of Remarka players die in that situation, but just using the ultimate to zone, understanding the aspect of space. So perfectly did Willis there. And yeah, Vestola is just going to get left right with United. See you later. Fixer died as well. This is actually not a bad time ban for Quick. Now we've seen last point Circle Royale be absolutely demonic in terms of the hold, right? More so than second these days. I guess people have figured out how to get over the hill, so to speak, quite literally. But VP, they're not completely like they're pretty dry on ults actually. Now that you think about it, Quick have got 2 themselves. They've got Rally late as well. So dare I say, Quick looking pretty good with this time ban. You know, just a couple of well-executed fights, maybe just even one well-executed ult fight for Quick, and you know you're looking at like a plus 1 minute time ban, like at least, right?
Yeah, the main worry is gonna be if VP can just slow and build time to combo something with that Orisa ult. yeah, it isn't a real easy opening for it to kind of just go in and dry blade. It has to have something else. But then maybe it's going to be the push going in now. Slow out, get going aggressively. Blade, pull, slice out on shotgun, but the dash goes just wide. And now it's so much damage to him. The Arista ult appeal as well. He'll get the kill and the reset out to safety. Now there's a rally on point. Vixer as well in the highlight. Gala coming up so close to a nano boost, but can he find a good target? It can't be Jay when he's taken off the field. Willis, though, still alive, still thriving on the point. There's no one else to touch. And Gala 99 to Nano, 96 to Bola, and 89 to Blade. They'll go down just in time. Quick find the opening.
It's like almost perfectly timed, right? You leave it 5-10 seconds longer, and you might be able to just spam all those ults to save time for VP. Yep. Yes, obviously you're going to be bone dry for the next fight, but you still win the fight. And then the time bank gets a little bit less scary if you are the boys in orange. But really nice push from Quick. Very well played. They were hard dueling for this right side high ground, right? And just wondering, okay, looking for any trigger. They managed to find it. Dip goes in, pulls the blade, gets 2, and they throw everything in the kitchen sink to try and keep him off the Freya, right? But it's just the sticking power that the Genji has during that blade with those dash resets.
Yeah.
Very well played.
He also might have been kept alive by the lifesteal perk. I don't know if that's one he had. I'm pretty sure it had. It's what I've seen.
Yeah, I think he had it
popular. But I think that would have like literally just been enough to keep him alive in the rest of long enough to get the reset out. He just didn't get that. Equal numbers. It gets kind of rough. Maybe everyone lives long enough just to get that nano online. But yeah, Quick. Are they on? Wait. Are Quick on Mercy?
If they're on.
No, they're on a touch spawn, right? So.
No. But Quick are on defense, and they're still on Mercy.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, like, I've played into Mercy on this map before. It's not fun, but also it's still Mercy.
I mean, if Vidra is OP, right? If the character is playing is OP, just damage boost him low.
I mean, yeah, but like, Zen is an option. It's not bad. Fix is playing it, and I feel like on this map as well, just Zen being Zen. Okay. Mercy of OWCS.
Maybe Natsuki just doesn't have the Zen in their back pocket. Rez might be alright into their comp. I'm trying to spitball any reason.
I mean, it might just be aura farming at the end of the day. It might just be, okay, we have 2 minutes against, you know, Vestala on Circuit Royale. Why not go Mercy at this point? You kind of won in an unorthodox modern way. Slow now trying to stop the advance from Vestala and Co, but they can't lock down that super very easy the same way you could with Zen, got all the mobile comp. But Willis just have less sustain. I said, everyone is still hanging on, and Zidra has double Shockwave's ult charge, and they found Jiggly.
I mean, damage boost gives you more ultimate charge as well, right? So it looks like I coined the term a while ago, kittening.
Right.
It looks like Natsuki is sort of likely very highly kittening on Zidra. In the sense of kind of lumping on with the damage boost. So clearly looking to play through that mass swing damage that you get with the Freya. I'm getting a question mark from the producer in chat. Like, why are you question marking? I am correct.
There's the bowler out, and it's managed to zone Vessel, but gold is basically nothing. And what is going on, man?
See, the damage boost is OP. Look how much damage Zidra is doing, by the way. No, like it's actually.
He's just farming.
It might be good. It might be good.
He's like 50% to our own in just a second. This is final blow. I mean, oh my goodness gracious. Zidra
is just one-shotting everyone, particularly that Arista with the damage boost.
What have Quick unleashed into my mind? Like, what is going on here? VP. I'm
not gonna see this in my comp games, right? Because I have Mercy banned on cooldown, so like it's fine with me. But
we were banning Mercy, not for our sake, but for VPs. Like we were all secret agents of Quick all along, because this is clearly the strategy of work. I mean, you will, in theory, lose the ult trade, but Gala goes down in trance. Gilham finds 2 with his orbit array. Vessela's throwing out his Terror Surge in what, like desperation, frustration.
Yeah.
A whole lot of work. I mean, Fixer gets a trade, but we're down to 1 minute 20. Fixer gets 2. Okay, calm down. But there's a res.
These guys must be there just the way to go. And it's flipping in. Absolutely. Crazy swing with the ultimate, and you know the damage boosted Vidra is still working, guys. You know?
Yeah, the cheese Natsuki is the cheese to
Mercy
Johan's
on
burger, and
Mercy
what a
on
meal they've made. The boot into Willis, trying to find a way to punish him, but he has a ram ult to top his arm if he needs to, but he might need to. There we go. Jemu has the blade zoned out, double speed now for VP. They know they're going to lose a later trade with these kind of immense pressure damage boosts from Natsuki, but it's all going to come down to the DPS of VP. Jemu Shockwave being pretty quiet so far on the attack. 30 seconds left though to make their mark on lobby. Else will go to a 1-1 here.
I mean,
The blade.
has the bowler. It's not that high value. Okay, Jemu.
Okay, yeah. They do get a trade, but they are down 2, so it's pretty rough.
Yeah, and obviously once you kill the damage boosted, once you kill the Mercy or the damage boosted DPS, it's like it's pretty much fight over.
No, they've swapped.
Yep, Natsuki has. You know what? I'm not even going to finish that joke on stream. About swapping off Mercy.
Okay.
And getting rid of when in doubt, put the Korean on Genji.
I mean,
wow. Daewoo transformed a little bit into Sun Jinwoo there because he did it solo, dare I say.
Okay.
We've had a Johan Burger reference in this game already.
Yeah.
Speaking of Shockwave,
Dip is a child of divorce, it seems. Just completely left alone now in the air. Shooting gallery for Shockwave without a pocket to kind of get him to safety. That's just rude from Shockwave at the end.
They are the disgraced Symmetra main of the family.
Wait, let's see it. Let's... How did this happen to Dip? We've got a replay for... okay, right. Yeah, this character's real.
Oh. I didn't even see Dip on my screen, I'll be honest.
No, just 2 shots out into the darkness and comes away with a kill.
Like, are my eyes broken or did I just, like, barely see Dip there? Like, but, like, holy.
Yeah.
He just died on his, like... On his pull up. He was ready to swing, and then he died before he swung. I guess that's just the character. Dude, honestly, if Freya can do that, why not damage boost it? Hello?
Yeah.
Like, crazy.
100%.
Okay, Vestola is just like living on this high ground.
I mean, you can't like easily push him off. You can keep spearing you back to threaten the environmental as well. Dip going in. Oh, the deflect is so good, and Fixer barely skirts and flirts with death at the end there. Orbital array, Terror Surge down as well. Some trade has come through. Galar has fallen, but the entire foot will domino down bad as well. Natsuki late stagger here too. Get invested a little bit of sleep as well, and VP are looking to be able to match a time back here. Quick invested 2 of their best ults there, Orbital Ray and Blade for practically nothing. It's going to have to come down to Zidra finding a bowler connection and Willis living well, but you beat in their face. It's going to be a response bowler as well. And VP pumping on the gas, beat in response. Zidra's trying to unleash his own. Will they try and live with his, but Johan's fallen in the meantime. Natsuki again coming up with Nano, but Deja Vu here, he can't put it on anyone. Dip has found a kill. He needs to do it. Natsuki, let it rip. It's on to Dip now. He has to come absolutely massive. Can he even lift? Can he even touch the point? All of it's kind of a hard arc, but he's done that. Just found a trade. 2 back, but the blade should be the ribbon on the top. And that is VP a little bit below the time bank, but you know, still pretty impressive progression.
And if we look at the spot that VP were in, swinging that final corner, Quick actually had ultimates. I think it was those ultimates that allowed them to stall that got them the better time ban. To be fair, it doesn't really mean much. In this spot, 20 seconds is, to be fair, the difference between respawning and touching the car and not being able to. Did you get team wiped, for example, right? But 20 seconds at this level, I think teams often can and will play around their time bank quite well, so it won't be too important. Seeing the rank grinders here as we're getting a quick press on the tab. Look how much damage Indra has done, by the way. 14k. Has done as much as Vestola on this map, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very impressive for Vestola as well. Willis is kind of lacking behind that department, playing a lot more of the defense, a lot more of the rock. It's kind of the whole team that we're surrounding. We don't expect him to have that much of a similar play. I see Fixer hovering Mercy, but I don't think they're looking to try and recreate the same success there.
Maybe just pre-selecting the Mercy perks, right? Of course, it's over time, so you can always pre-select your perks.
We're gonna see.
That's no perk.
I think VP will stick to this. It makes a lot of sense. Quick. I mean, they just want to play for the long fight, right? Like just try and have Willis.
No Natsuki Mercy.
No win. It's already over, guys. Call that.
Yeah, I don't think it would work this time. It's almost like a nice counter adjustment. Just Darla and Victor are probably just going to force their Stola completely right through, so you don't get the time to play the neutral with the damage boost, I assume. So, of course, it would have been more funny to see Mercy.
Yeah.
Unironically, I don't think that bad here, particularly if you can just land Ares. It's almost like a mini ultimate in itself, particularly when the time bank is really scarce like this, right? But yeah, Quick are just going to sort of seed this first bend and play the corner very, very hard. It's basically one fight here for VP because of how long it should take to at least display.
As long as they survive this initial hit with torpedoes, double speed, they should be, in theory, coming out on top, and they will actually catch Fixer on the engagement as well. Natsuki living here is massive too. Vessel of Fools. That's kind of it. Like VP kind of have to like run in with some point with this double speed and like hope they come away better with the trades. But Quick, they kite well, they skirt away, they have the better sustain in that fight and the better kind of like longer range poke with the Genji versus the Pharah. But still, one more fight in this for VP to get around this first bend.
Yeah, really hard for them to sort of run and rush onto anyone as well because Dip, Nuke, Contamine is going to pull them all together. And then it's so much spam damage right from Dip and Zidra if they manage to land a really good concussive collapse. Okay, all of the Freya's in the air, one out, the bowler online for basically both of them. Here we go, overtime wait.
Oh, that's what you need to see from Zidra. Everyone from Quick coming alive, like the kill feed orange, just the color we want to see, and that's overtime trickling away. 76 meters gained, and I think they were down like 20 seconds or so advantage for Quick. That's not really a proper fight, but still, it has any map that Quick can take, to get them that success story, because that would be a pretty important and impressive win to get in your first matchup against the #1 seed. I think it has to be here.
Yeah, I was saying coming in that anything that Quick can get is a positive. All of the value that Quick get from this map is almost the idea of like the learning experience, but they're coming in so aggressive, so competitive, and honestly Dip and Zidra have looked so good, particularly with the space that they've had when they're playing to hold that space. In particular, they look so calm, so composed. Nameplates off, I guess, not worried about the DPS. On the other side, I think it's been a little bit of a poorer map from Darla and Jayru, I would say, not just looking at their stats, just in terms of in general. Feels like really the composition of Quick have been able to hold Jayru at bay, who normally plays these like aggressive playmakers like the Tracer, the Genji, the Pharah, the ones that will try and out-mechanic you low HP. And they've done an excellent job of sort of just making it so he can't go in. If he does, it's a death sentence.
Yeah.
And now Quick have got a cook on attack, but again, that 20 seconds here is so important because it gives you basically more time to either etch on this first corner or just wait to build up your ultimate and go away. So when the cart is as low as it is, 20 seconds actually becomes, I think, very, very important.
True. Yeah, that can be an overtime touch as well. There's the form from both sides, but just the absolute burner is being shoved on the shockwave in the backline, but it's just a complete mirroring there. Both teams going super deep into any backlines. Unfortunately, Quick are the ones that walk away quite a bit more bruised. Maybe a trade here or two would be good to have, but no, it looks like a spawn camp is held together. So maybe like Sag on to dip? No. Yeah. Slow.
Really nice first fight option from VP. And Fixer loves this, by the way. They did this all the time in Hangzhou, just looking to hit the backline with the grenade, like on the flanks and everything. I believe they beat a Korean team with it. I forget which one.
I think it took a map off Falcons or Crazy Raccoons, one of the two, one of the big dogs.
Fixer loves this sort of flank aggressive Radita gameplay, basically two-stack with their tank hitting the back line, and I mean, when it's as squishy as what Quick have got, absolutely go for it.
Yeah, but unfortunately not able to do that there, just get forced out. Jable dashes right into the line of fire too as well. 35 seconds, it's gonna come down to an overtime, I do believe, when we get there, so could get the ults online. Shockwave has got his bowler shot. I mean, it's super early, that's the only thing here, but I imagine we'll have to see Johan Gala will get over to Ray kind of later into the fight. It's just a race between these support lines who can get them online, because that'll be the determining factor. Or Shockwave, of course, with this bowler shot, he can find the connection.
Fixer's very, very ahead in rally as well. And it's 10 seconds left as well, right? So you can't even bait an ult quick reset. VP are just going to be able to accelerate towards that high
goes wide. Vessela goes down, and now Dip has the barrage on point, and no one else touches.
Wait.
What?
No touch? Interesting
Okay.
end to the map. Interesting end to the map. I'm a little bit stunned, but there you go. Quick Esports on their map pick. They sort of play the gamble. They say, okay, you won't put Vestola in. You won't put Vestola in. Like, you won't. And on a map that VP have beaten basically every team they've ever played on Circuit Royale. The whole quote of this was supposed to be, it's the banter, it's the one that can't fail. It is almost their map pick, I feel like. VP, they love a Circuit Royale. And
fully thought it was them taking it.
That must be one of their few losses on Circuit Royale, like the whole, since coming into OWCS, I think in general. I imagine they've not lost that many times on that map, particularly with this roster.
I'd fully have to agree, but I think it's like very, very, the mentality for Quick to come in and be like, you know what? We can beat VP, not just on like a map, but on like their game. But also in the sense that like the confidence for Willis, especially a young player, of course, up and coming, people like a lot of eyes on him. But to go, you know what? Yeah, you can play off second against Vestola because we feel like this is the map where we can really, deny Jaywook, who has been the up-and-coming star on this, on this map. We can deny his value and let our own DPS shine their own funky way with a Mercy Pocket. And that gamble pays off. It's great to see. This is the kind of match you love to see come out from underdog teams from OWCS. Because even though my fantasy scores will take a, bit of a hit from that, I have no doubt. Still super impressive to see coming there. And I feel like VP gotta be a bit ruffled, right? Like, gotta be a bit uncertain because, like I said,
absolutely,
that's their map.
And now they get map pick, and I actually forget how map picks works in
viewer predictions.
OWCS. Yeah, I forget which. Shout out to that 4% that put it on Quick though. Ended up taking home bags and bags of channel points. I can only imagine.
I mean, I can't blame the 96%. Like I'm very quick pilled. I'm here for it. They've got their places in my overseas fantasy teams, but here, like, I went big on VP. I put like 2 VP members in. I'm like, it should be like a 3-0. Anything but a 3-0, VP should be confused. Should be kind of looking back on that because name-wise, Quick just are at a disadvantage. But screw the names. It's all about how you perform in game. And now they have the chance to continue that on New Junk City. I mean, what do you expect to see here? Like an Orisa Ram matchup again? I'm trying to think like what else it could even be. Maybe a Malga?
Potentially. I'm just trying to think what VP would even do. New Junk City here. Again, like New Junk is more so for Brawl, right? Like it's more so these traditional sort of Rush Ramatra comps. Maybe you're feeling confident on them. Of course, J Queen is always relevant on this map, but I think with the current state of spam damage in this game, you try and play J Queen and you just die through your command shout. So -1.
Yeah, like you said, if Diva is one of the fat DPS and John Queen's a skinny one, she's like much more of a DPS and the health pool will be halved and like actually like 200 by the time she gets anywhere near Frey, even with like the shout in, if you've got a Juna ring in there as well. It's just rough, and especially into like into Norris, into Ram, especially once that Ram slow perk comes out. Like that thing can stop a Queen ult in its tracks once it gets the major perk. The scaling on that is just crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So I have to imagine we're going to see that.
Just maybe more Orisa. Obviously, Orisa banned out right for Quick, so they can't get rid of Orisa anymore. Just feels like such a staple for all of these rush comps. It's so hard to move.
Did they ban it? When did they ban it? Oh, they banned Orisa first map.
Banned it map 1, yeah. Like unless you're damage boosting the Drake again and just looking to blow up the Orisa that way, like that clearly was a bit of an answer. But
okay,
Symmetra banned, interesting.
So VP were the first to ban, taking away that Kiriko. Okay, so I guess they are scared of maybe like a Juno Kiriko, kind of going around. Maybe even a Lucio Kiriko with like a hazard. Maybe that's on the pick. They're kind of wary of. They want to force. They feel confident. And I guess it must be like a Juno break. Like if Kiriko's gone, what else kind of is that left? Simban, we have seen Sim a fair bit of first point of New Junk. Like we saw, I think TM played that. I think maybe at Stockholm. or somewhere at least. They just kind of played Sims very good. First point here, denying that. But I think a bit more of a, more not the most impactful band, if I'm being quite honest with you, at least at the first glance.
Yeah, I mean, getting rid of Kiri, I think, is always a good one. I talked about with bands the idea of almost messing with people's muscle memory. I think about how many times you've played like Kiriko on basically any map ever in any scrim, with the thousands of hours you've sunk into. It really does feel like this core of Orisa, Soji, Genji, Lucio, Kiri is something that basically anyone that's scrimming at this level, or even obviously playing competitive at this level, they just have, thousands of hours on it at this point. It feels like it's all they've been playing for the last 18 months or so. Because those characters are just so fundamentally good.
Yeah.
To how you can and want to play the game with, 3-2 splits, this U-shaped formation, all of the buzzwords that I can remember, for example. It's so fundamental to how you play the game that getting the chance to disrupt it makes teams play a bit differently, and sometimes that can genuinely throw you off. Completely unrelated, they're advertising the Stadium Showdown at DreamHack Dallas.
Which we're advertising for them as well, because they clearly need it. They need the quick shout out.
Dude, Stadium is so fun. Completely separate. I quite enjoy Stadium.
I enjoy it first person. Third person to me just throws me. I don't know what it is, but it's just completely I just cannot aim. My brain goes out the window. I'm like, it's a whole different game.
I need to rip the band-aid off, because obviously I'm a disgusting Zarya one trick, right? But Zarya in third person, in theory, probably sounds quite good, but it just feels weird. Yes.
Yeah. I think once people figure out that you can camera swap mid-fight, third person is gonna be very good, because you basically just peek permanently third person optimally. You can peek either angle depending on which camera you're playing from, but first person is a lot more comfortable, I think, overall. So yeah, maybe we'll see a quick play at the Stadium. Maybe we can say that. I think it would be nice. I mean, where they're playing at the moment, I guess that is the question for Quick. You are punching up. Is there a question how possible do we think it is that Quick could take one of the land spots for Esports Cup? Obviously, compared to Stockholm and China, and Hangzhou, there are a lot more spots open and available. But I guess if you're showing well against VP, this gives more hope towards you. You're gonna expect it to beat Frosttails. I think it's 50-50 to Peps. Maybe you can beat Genji. They kind of looked a bit shaky. They were kind of doing some weird cooking stuff, but those are all questions for the future. And I guess a strong new Junk City appearance here maybe help give a few potential answers to start this one off. But what teams are going to hover, how it's going to shape out, I'm imagining just Juno, Briggs, and Lucio. Juno is essential, must be.
Yeah, he really is.
Even with the mega buffs to his sustain, the only team I've seen playing that was Team Liquid, and they have RuPaul on it, and they played it on maps that it kind of did make sense, but no. That
character is just too Overwatch 1 build, sadly. It's just too Overwatch 1 build.
And especially with the state of Genji,
it was
just
designed.
Explode.
It was designed for a different game, realistically. Kiriko, Lucio is of course just the perfect main support. Brig, of course, is just really, really overtuned. Always has been overkitted. And of course, the select supports going alongside these two are ones that have been designed with Overwatch 2 in mind. So you
Dip
are
is just
completely daft. Speaking of,
what in the
all the design in the world, and Dip is absolutely cooking.
You show it to them,
okay. Dip.
Oh my goodness.
Repping the trivia check, Natness. What skin is that?
It's the one. It's from Overwatch League. Is there Overwatch League skin? All-Stars, maybe?
Yes, it is, I believe.
I only know that because the recolor came out recently.
It's West All-Stars 2019, I believe. Might be 2020. It's one of the first ones that they did, yeah.
All the gaming players I've seen rock it. It's pretty sick.
It was first 2 seasons. It was whilst they were still in LA. Speaking of, Shockwave got sent back to LA
Jwoo.
Vancouver Titans flashbacks. Okay. Jwoo is absolutely playing. Is Jwoo on low pain, actually?
I don't.
Me
I
when?
think he might. I think I've seen him in the TikToks, in the VP TikToks they make. He's like at the house.
It's like at the team house. I was about to say,
I believe
can't
so.
imagine him playing from Korea with ping. That must be
Yeah, that would be
crazy.
quite the kerfuffle. Right now, it's just been a Genji show at the moment. I mean, understandable when you put two players of this caliber on this level dip. I think this has been the kind of feast and famine hero commit. Right now, looking pretty hungry. It was J-Woo's time with the controller last time, and Zidra finds Fixer that Brick Shield cosmetic
Fat
basically.
Yeah.
In the face of the bowler. Like Brick really does not have a good time.
Is that one shot? I feel like
It's like
that
180, kind of around 180 damage, I think. I'm not
it's
sure.
a roundabout at one shot, right? Imagine, because of course you're firing your right clicks into it at the same time, so you're probably just looking to bowler and then spam a right click into.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Dip has found.
This confidence
No brick.
is insane.
I mean, no brick though, right? Like.
No. But I mean, it makes sense. Like, I do think Lucio does kind of make sense more into the fray. Like that shield, the damage goes through the shield. Like your shield is useless, it's gone. But now it's going to be on the blades here. Like Ajewu has his Terrasol to work with. There it comes out. Doesn't even need it, just a dash reset through. And even though one shot onto Vessela, you are still down 2 quick. But you're kind of happy to go there. You get an ult out. You have beat advantage coming into the next fight. You get the bowler too. Quicker, keeping their stride.
Well, I can imagine the Shockwave spamming the verified Overwatch League player spray. Right, buddy? You were on the Vancouver Titans at one point, so does that really count as being an Overwatch League player? Of course, was on a lot of other good rosters as well, but yeah, that Vancouver Titans team.
Guess who has
Oh my god, the Mauder.
crawled his way back into this
Surely
game.
not. Do we
It's
have to
a
nerf
filthy
Mauder
little
again?
Mauga.
we
He's
have to
still
nerf it
alive.
again?
You can't kill him. But you can kill Johan pretty easily with a Ray Blade, and not that you can't kill with a Ray Blade. And Quick have the ults. They have 4 ults, just not able to use them. That feels really rough, to be honest with you. Like, Quick, I think, could have turned that around.
On the flip side, having 5 ultimates gives you insanely quick fights, no pun intended, which means that you can completely dictate tempo for the next probably 1.5 points, which should also therefore, in theory, mean that VP won't have a good time building up these ultimates. Fixer inevitably will get Sound Barrier unless they just decide to run off the map and die. Got that Stadium perk that gives you 15% ult charge on there. Min-maxing, as we say it.
True.
But no, Quick should just look to open with maybe 1 or 2 ultimates here, and then from there, I think from VP, it's about taking as many of those 2 buttons as possible.
And some slack as well, like Natsuki's probably scared of the Ajax into the Ray Blade, but now it's their turn with the Ray and the Blade as well. Why not? Throwing out, catching Fixer, but it's already lost 2 members, and Vesta is just running away from the Blade. It looks so goofy, just this giant beast fleeing the scene. The trades, I think, are pretty equal right now.
No support, so for
Trying to get back, Quick. They do have the Rambo if they think it's winnable, and it might still be. Like, they should get back into the scene pretty quickly, but they will even out, and so will VP.
Even if they win it, like using a Ramble here, like 3 ults in the same fight when VP basically commit nothing. This is another investment. Okay, this is a safe one. Quick managed to get the stable, but this is a very expensive fight. So pretty well played from VP in all aspects. You get 3 ultimates out from Quick in a situation where, you know, they had 5 and you had none. Like, crazy work from VP, and I guess just the Mauder swap.
Yeah, I mean, like, historically, Willis is just gonna struggle. Like, he needs to be very smart with his shield management, and on top of that, like, Shockwave gonna make that difficult. There's just so much poke, and you want your shield to deny that lifesteal. Would have been thrown out, roll out in response. It's the beat in to deny from Quick. But can they keep going with this? I mean, there's the bonus response from Sidra, catches on to nothing. They do get the fight off point though, so they should get what, like 70% maybe off of that cap. I mean,
about 65 there, I think. They might push 70 actually. Okay, team kill. VP only committing the beat though. I'd have supported that.
Yeah, and
2 odds. Well, I forget how
Blades.
quick that card is.
Like, Quick,
Yeah, you do have to take
they need to get those off out, like, yesterday.
It's really hard for Willis, right? Because I'm sure you want to stay sort of in main, aggressing onto VP for so long. But if you do it and you don't kill the
Nice
solo,
shields.
you just get burned.
Nice.
There's the solo cage.
Oh, I mean, that's just... Yeah, that's an old advantage coming through. And Willis plays that really well. Like, he denies a life, so they trade him to Vestala. And they do get both ults out, so actually, pretty successful.
The Ramble, I guess, just forces. I actually don't mind the pull from Quick to pile into the cage. But I stole like rips it so early, you think you can almost collapse and punish, but VP are almost ready for the counter to the counter.
It's going to come down to these rays, right? I mean, Dip has a blade on top of it soon.
Gala is building me so fast.
It's just insane level of Juno play, especially with that major perk. Like you're just spamming torpedoes both at the same time. But Dip gets the first pick yet again. Gala, I'm trying to find that kill, but both these guys just dancing around in the spotlight. There's still advantage for Quick, but they have to keep it going. Like, I mean, there's no ult's gonna be up, but Gala has fallen. Dip shouldn't have to use the blade here, and I think this should be the fight one.
Yeah, it looks like it should be. So Gala went first, but the Ray from Johan was definitely better. Quick hold on to both. Maybe not have been better, but at least it was playable for them to stabilize. So it might have actually been the once the Rays died. I think why Quick really won that fight. Tidra gets the nice pick onto Gala after their Ray dies. So yeah, in hindsight, the Rays maybe just as unused as each other. Always get nervous into a composition like this, like because these Junos are so confident they sort of just swing into the whole team, go for their Ray, and then press torpedoes. And with a character like Freya around, you know,
you have like triple jump with one of the Juno minor perks, plus like you're spamming, you know, torpedoes everywhere. Everyone's kind of scared to peek you to a degree as well. Dick, bring the blade.
Yeah, true.
Bring the blade. I mean, I'm not sure. It was like a romantic gesture to try and swoon Fixer for not using the beat, but Natsuki will use his. The Fixer has so much of a better beat that he needs to use it, which is looking unlikely. Like, there's no real response from Quick, but never mind. Zidra finds Fixer in the fight of all, and Vesta falls immediately after. Okay, anytime Quick, I can use my witchcraft powers to curse VP whenever you're feeling like it, I guess. My bad.
The VP just ran out of resources, I guess, and they put so much pressure onto their Stola that once that second heart is turned off, there's no cardiac. Bro does just fall over and die. Quite literally has a cardiac arrest in that instant. Just, you know, one of those hearts pops and
it's a bit of the shift like Malga. A lot more of like an engage based hero, where like you maybe putting mobility more than that cardiac arrest become nerfed a lot more. And that's Suki getting traded out though, the beat advantage. VP will just cleanly get that win.
Yeah.
Say that God is full still.
I don't want to nerd emoji you at this, but it's cardiac overdrive, not cardiac arrest. The
cardiac
arrest is when your heart
it's
when your heart stops.
Well,
a little bit different than both of them working at the same time. But
I mean, yeah, true. Jay was though has been experiencing that at least, and the Ramel catches it. Again, the shield. Like, what can Vessela do? He's just cowering in his own cage. He's locked himself up for like, I don't know, safekeeping. He's trying to keep them out rather than, you know, locking in with him. And Quick is just still on a roll. Like, this is going to be 70%. They know they can hold this aggressively because someone's going to have to go point for VP. And Vessela's swapping off the Malga.
This shotgun perk, by the way, that Willis gets, I think actually makes the matchup way easier for the Remarkable.
That's a really good point.
It definitely helps. One of the few perks I've seen that helps tip a matchup, sort of recover a small weakness. A lot of the perks I've seen are win more, whereas if your character's good, it's already better. Oh my god, Zidra on the flank. Really well timed from Zidra and Diff.
Dude.
Constantly looking for the backline. Vestola obviously abusing the fact that he has to go point. Quick's now taking 2-1, so they are on map point. For match point. Clearly thrown off VP. I think the Sim ban potentially might have been quite good. Looks like they're just in the mirror, and Vestola just unwilling to play the Ram. Unwilling to stick on the Orisa. Willis just, again. Willis is just kind of living. I feel like obviously they're being very heavily invested in terms of resources, and of course they're getting a lot of value. But often it feels like they're almost playing that Orisa-esque role, if you get me. Like they just kind of need to live in main and just wait because the off-angle and Vidra are just completely killing everyone.
Oh my goodness! I mean, even in the O exchange, like. J-Woo just whips, killing Natsuki, never get away with life. Doesn't even invest a bit. Maybe we need to now. Trades have come through, but no, Quick will end that fight in their favor. Stagger onto Gala as well. Okay, right. This is the universe we're in, and now J-Woo is swapping off a Genji mirror. He's going over onto the Tracer. Makes sense into this backline at least, right? In theory.
Yeah, I said at the start of the series, like, this is a really important game for VP, right? Like, you've just gone through the OWCS bracket. You know, Virtus.Pro, they've just fought through the EU Masters bracket for qualification. You know, Virtus.Pro going up against big team Quick Esports. Like, any chance that VP can get here? As we said going in, if VP just get a map against Quick, you know, if they just get a map against Quick, it's good, right?
Oh, poor up-and-comer Shockwave. He's just only started playing the game, and he's being bullied by Johan. This guy has been playing the game for like 20 years, multiple-time Overwatch League champion.
Does have a burger named after him as well.
True. I mean, yeah, like what other Overwatch player has
What is Vidra doing?
Vidra just died to bomb, but Vesela...
Cancel the joke, Vest. Cancel the joke, Vest is killing everyone. Wait a minute.
Vesela, okay, alright. Let's save that after taking the map. Because the VP still got some bark in them. Still trying to bite back a little bit, but 98%, 97% I should say, for Quick on the board. 3% away from taking the lead in the series against Virtus.Pro.
Vest and Shockwave very much reminding of. Why does she look a little bit like Widowmaker? That bottom left. Yeah, Widow actually. That was it. Yeah, like when they turn Widowmaker's skin white.
Yeah, yeah.
She looked a bit like Widow in that bottom left.
Okay.
Are we having the white women problem that the other funny
game
has as well? Yeah.
Well, possibly, but right now it's Dip versus Jwoo on the Tracer, so I don't know. Dip is just chasing after Jwoo. Like, I would be so terrified of this encounter, but Dip has absolutely no fear, no calmness. Trying to find some kind of value, but Sidra has been taken out. VP are still just holding on to a big old ult lead as well, so
nice read.
This is rough. Yeah, this could be where they swing it, right? Like, looking at the ults. There's no way Quick get a proper touch and fight like it's gonna go next point. So
yeah, really nice turnaround. Again, VP. I guess they just needed one to get themselves going again. Dip is so aggressive on this angle from Jwoo that like both these Chasers are sort of just having a 1v1 off to the side, and everyone else is playing Overwatch 3, I guess, 4v4. Like,
yep.
They're still using that full opportunity to just peek on the backline and Vidra, completely ignoring Lilith, and this is where it can get quite painful. As a tank in this scenario, it feels like very much you can be ignored by a composition like VP's. It was very classic when, I think when Juno first came out, you were able to slingshot the D.Va into the enemy backline. It was very broken, wasn't it? Because of the absolute pace at which the D.Va could come around, basically turned it into a living bullet, living weapon herself with those micro missiles. And VP going for basically a similar strategy here by the looks of it. Look at that. All the KP onto Natsuki.
I mean, the boulders there just... Vidra's hits, and there's a lot, unleashes the bomb there. I mean, you get an ult out at the least, but still, Quick have lost their momentum here. It feels that the adaptation, like you said, VP just fully skipping Willis. Like you said, oh, Willis, it's great that you're living. Unfortunately, the entire rest of your team is not, and you can't really stop that. Like, you can't slowly engage. You can punch, okay. Who? Like, I guess Vestola.
You do less damage if you shoot him, because you're going to be shooting him in the back, right? Because he's going to be behind you shooting your backline.
Yeah.
In which case, if you're shooting Vestola, you should be shooting and not punching him, because you do more damage with Guardian. Sidra, though, has gotten a kill on Shockwave, so up and comer down for now.
Yeah.
Sidra putting on a masterclass so far on this Freya. Can he get more? Let's see. Stalling out.
It's a good slow. They do take out Vesela. I mean, Gala has up throw, but there's no way it unleashes it, right? Like, you've lost your tank. You've lost yourself in a minute, too.
Finally, we see a fight in which Willis is able to actually, like, do something, right?
Yeah, it's just not just, like, force of spectators.
Whole team has been dying around him, yeah.
Okay. And we're seeing D.Va so off. I mean, D.Va a little more difficult.
Vestola
on this last point. Finally kind of going... But Quick do have an ult advantage. I'm very tentative because, like, I think they can use this to leverage a win here. But they have to be careful and not just kind of, like, win the battle, lose the war kind of situation here. And have the ult to Ray to watch out for, and there it is.
Bowler
goes has to pop the right. Gala's won! And Jim finds the final blow. That's what you need with the... Get the point flip there. That's a bit rough. And they are down their major source of healing, and these people have to kind of fight with their last remaining scraps.
They don't care though, because they get 99, right? Like, if this isn't flipped, this is...
Shockwave kills 2. That's rough though. You lose so much percentage. That's basically that entire fight. Like, you get like 10, 20% of a fight would give you maybe the win.
You would have been like mid 60 here. Yeah.
Yeah.
genuinely very, very important.
Still?
VP now looking to go way more all in on this brawl, just to mention, by the way. Swapping over to the Genji and Rand. I think they're just looking to try and force down Willis. Which
Natsuki with the pulse! Why is Fixer standing still? Dip finds that. I was going to put a rally, but
they caught him all tracking. They caught him all tracking, I think. I think they caught him all tracking. It's a classic.
They're down and Menda maybe can come back in time, but Natsuki still has the rally.
I mean, you have rally, right?
Against the voices, but they've set their sights on Johan when they found Jaewoo. Oh my goodness, Quick on the precipice of taking the lead right now. And yes, Fixer is back, but Jaewoo's down, and they don't touch the point.
Banger. Oh
my god, it's 2-1 for Quick versus VP. Oh my god. Pressures them out the window. This is a fever dream.
Dude, Mr. X has been CC'd. You know, his eyes have completely been inflated. I would too after witnessing that gameplay from Citra.
Oh my goodness.
To be fair, I say Citra, I think Dip might be the MVP of the series so far. I've been playing the busted funny flank characters, but like his timings of stuff is his timings of, I say stuff. Let's be a real caster for a second. His timings of engages on the back line, there we go, have been so good, right? Being able to not only kill, but like maneuver and then get out. Like you go in, you kill Gala or you force Gala away, effectively killing him for like 3 or 4 seconds. And then you go main and then you kill Vestola main as well with your team. Because of course when you're on that 2-3 split, you're on that offline roll. Your team are missing damage in the main fight. Your core are missing damage in the main fight. But Willis isn't overplaying these main fights. They're waiting for their DPS to get back from their, you know, like Jet 2 short flight or wherever they're going on their adventures. They're waiting for them to land safely back in their front line and then walking onto VP here. And yeah, this is again the predictions for this map. Someone has just made, you know, someone has made a crazy amount of channel points.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Quick, like it's a quick $1 million. Like it's a whole new number named after it. Because who is betting on Quick to win that? I mean, it was close. It was damn close. But should it be? Like, should it be this close? Is crazy.
Combine Overwatch League 2 team with that amount of channel points, probably.
I mean,
standard
like,
20 mil dropped. Farming the VP believers.
Yeah, actually.
Not us. Everyone in the Quick co-stream believed. All of us. As we said, coming into this map, you know, VP, up and coming, fought their way through the Masters bracket. They go up against Quick, who have just been to LAN. You know, they've taken down
7-0'd Falcons.
Yeah, they have taken down, you know, monumental opponents. Really, like if you just look at them, you know, Quick, you know, taken down generational sides like Gas Tier 3, and I'm trying to think of other teams in Masters. It's only GTV off the top of my head. I know a bunch of people. Aoma? Nope, Aoma died long ago.
Aoma died. Thunders.
Eris?
Eris, oh, you know.
That one ball trick team. Guys. That one ball trick team.
Oh.
Actually, that's the team
Waspo, no?
No, the Golden Punch team. That's not
good
Masters,
guys?
below.
Well, they're Masters now, I'm pretty.
There might be Masters now, yeah.
They dropped Golden Punch because he's a child.
Yeah, quite too young.
In the meantime, though, we will need to head to a short break so we can make sure all the streamers are synced up and making sure we're getting the absolute peak of the action. So heading to that in just a moment. Stream, I believe, will be restarting, so don't go anywhere.
Delay, I think.
Just, we'll see you in a minute then.